How you doing today? My name is Michael Williams. I'm president, One in a Million Incorporated.
For our first question, we have, how has the representation of Black people in Springfield shaped your life? Do you feel that there is enough Black representation in the community and country?
Yeah, I think there's enough Black representation in our community and our country. How has it affected my life? I've had some mentors that have been really, really valuable to me in my past. Black mentor males, from organizations to business leaders and to community leaders who have impacted my life, and they pretty much shape a lot of the way I do and think things because they were very integral and important at a time where I really start growing into doing community work.
Thank you. What has your experience been like owning a business being Black? Have you faced any struggles in this position?
Well, as being president of One in a Million, yeah, in our early years, we faced some struggles because we're an organization that's we're a bridge to a community, as our logo says. But early on, we took on the state and the city as far as issues like no blacks on the fire department, lack of blacks in the police department, lack of blacks working for the city, black laid off workers with the state of Illinois. So we didn't make a lot of friends early on. Yeah. A lot of people was like, whoa, man, as they say now, it would be called good trouble. Back then, 30 years ago, when we started, we were troublemakers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, but it was our mission because One in a Million was founded, at the Million Man March. And it was a lot of Black men that went to D.C. to come back to make really serious changes in their community. And there were some things that we tackled early on that was kind of tough.
Thank you. What aspects do you focus on when teaching others about Black history?
I try to keep them focused on our history just for the sole purpose that, as they say, if you forget your history, you're doomed to repeat it. I believe that's how that goes. Mm-hmm. And I think our younger people should really know their Black history, because I think we're only taught one side of it. I think that they know we were slaves. I don't think they knew that we had businesses and we had, communities that were thriving with businesses. Some of them were burned down. A lot of them were taken away. I mean, even in Springfield with the race riots, they actually went throughout the Black business community and burned it down. And I don't think our youth really understand that. And a shocking thing was, when I went to Western Illinois and I took African American studies, I had no idea about a lot of stuff because it wasn't taught to me in School District 186. Mm-hmm. And I found myself sitting there saying, wow, that really happened. Wow, that we really were, and this was that. And it set off a mission, I guess I could say, in me to always ensure that when youth come into our program and when I speak to people, that I always educate them about the fight and what people did before us, what King and a lot of our previous leaders, what they went through and what they sacrificed. That's a big word. What they sacrificed so that we can be where we are and still trying to get to today.
How did you get your start, and how do you give back to your community while you're doing the work that you love?
Well, I got my start because the first president, he resigned. His name was William Bishop. He resigned and I was vice president. So I was pretty much next in line. And what I did when I became president of One in a Million, I said, there's a lot of things that our community needs. I think we've been doing school supplies for 20 years. We give out our coat drive is 23 years old. We did the Juneteenth celebration for 23 years. So I just made sure we stayed involved in our community in a lot of aspects that, that were really helpful to people in need.
Do you feel that there is anything in Black Springfield that should be reevaluated or revised to become more beneficial while you're sharing Black stories?
If I could say, it's so, when I seen that, I really thought about this because it's really funny. We just had this conversation. I think the consent decree from School District 186 needs to be reevaluated. That consent decree was 20, 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. Times have changed. It should be updated. Even though that current consent decree is not truly being followed, to the magnitude that's the court ordered, but it still needs some changes and some upgrades and some reevaluation to it. That would be the thing that sticks out to me, that I really think in the Black community that would have a tremendous effect on all of us if we just go back, reevaluate that consent decree, and start from there.
Have you faced any prejudice that has impacted your ability to share your stories and those of others?
No, not really prejudices, but it's like I say, backlash maybe a little bit, because in our early days, when we were tackling some of the racism and the lack of jobs and things like that, it really, really, really impacted the way some people looked at the organization and myself. So we kind of faced, I wouldn't call it prejudices, but some backlash a little bit.
Do you have a special family story that you would like to share? How has the story influenced your perspective?
Oh, I got so many, but the one when I seen that question, I thought about is my grandfather, James Haley. When I was young, he had a tip-to-top valet shop at first. It was a cleaners and shoes and hat. It sat right across the street from Lincoln School, right there on 11th and Capitol. And we used to go there, and he had a lot of grandchildren. And he used to always give us all a couple of dollars to go down to the show. But as he got older, he moved into a shop in downtown Springfield. A lot of his clients were really big-time bankers and businessmen. Some politician. I used to always go down there and hang out with him. And he used to always have me debating these guys. He would bring up, whether it be sports or what's going on that day, I'd be in there talking, and he'd come in and pick up his stuff. He'd be like, "Hey, grandson," when he said that, this is what he thinks about that situation. And I'd be like, "Well, I don't think that's how that should be." And I found myself debating with these guys with suits and ties, and he just loved it. You know what I'm saying? He used to always say, a couple of times I got a little tied up, and he used to always say later on, "Always stand your ground," you know what I'm saying? Never give up and never sell what you believe in. If you believe in it, grandson, you fight for it. Even if you take a loss, take the loss, but you fight for what you believe in. And that has stuck with me, for the rest of my life. And we went to games. Some of the guys would give him tickets to Cardinal games, and me and him, he would take me to Cardinal games. And I can just remember I was like 11, 12, maybe 13. And first couple of times, the little debates, I was a little intimidated. And then I just got to the point where he just, he would just, "Hey, say what you got to say to him. Just because he's got a suit on or a tie on, don't get nervous. Say what you say. That ain't what you said when me and you were talking. So when he comes in, you tell him the same thing." These guys loved it too. So we were banter, and that is why I'm a debater today. You know what I'm saying? Because it started way back when I was young. And it just rubbed off on me. And that, the many stories I can really think of that has impacted my life, that is truly one of them.
That's really awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I just think that the Black community in Springfield, if I could add something, I think that we got a long way to go within ourselves, within the Black community. I think the Black community has to start changing itself, so that those that look from the outside in at us could start believing that we really can do some of the things that we can do. As they look at us now, it's just too much turmoil, I think, too much division amongst us. We have to learn how to become united within our own community. Start spending money within our own community. Start holding hands and lifting each other up with our own community. Then those from the outside community will give us a little bit more respect and understanding when we say we need these things and we want these things. So I would just like to add that.
Thank you.